82% of people trust companies more when their leaders are visible online. Leaders with active personal brands get 57% more leads. We help execs find their voice, post authentically, and become the go-to speaker.
The executive is the face of the company. Half the job of every executive is external and the other half is internal. And it's very hard to drive that vision from a high level to be narrowing it down to every single level in the organization. How can we help? What we do is we turn every executive to an influencer, to a thought leader in the industry. The effect of that is tremendous. That vision and that aspirational future, that momentum that the CEO is trying to create became pieces of content that every single individual can relate to. We've done this for the past 7 years where we've taken an executive from 0 followers to 500,000 followers. How did we do that? We cannot turn a CEO to an influencer if they're not authentic, if they're not relatable, if they're not articulate enough to become that voice of the industry. So we work on their brand message, we work on their why, and then after that, we start taking their content and translate it to social pieces that are relatable to those audiences based on their segmentation. So this way, when we post them, those pieces of content become the conversation of the industry. If that is interest of yours, we're happy to help you, and we look forward to working with your executives and C-suite to turn them from offline executive to become influencers and brand ambassadors, to turn your company into personalities.
A friend of mine, Roy Abdo, who runs a firm called Digital Revamp, he sat down and he said, "I'm going to make you famous." And I said, "I don't want to be famous. I want to be Johnny, anonymous, and just make a difference in the world quietly." Roy and his team said, "That's not good. You have something to say, especially if it's about making the world a better place, particularly work. So if you can make work better, then you can make the world better." And so I decided at that point, working with Roy and his team, to build a digital profile. And again, the really important message here is to do it just for the sake of doing it is ego-driven. But if you do it because you think you can actually make the world better, because you can introduce new ideas, some controversial, some not so controversial, if you can force people to talk with each other, talk to people who are different. Like if you do that, then it's worth doing and sort of trading off my desire to be very, very anonymous and like.
Comment thought leader, and let's get you heard.